This
Let me initiate
conference
the
will now
recording.
be recorded.
So yes, good morning. Welcome to the object-oriented ABAP programming or ABAP objects. So yesterday we had an introduction like what exactly object-oriented. It's a very generic introduction, and I also showed you, and the real purpose of object-oriented, because we felt that we are working with a non-object oriented, but in many cases we are working with an object oriented things. So I showed you two function modules, a function module GI, a function module ALV function module CLGI ALV create, sorry, set table for first display. This is a function module. We felt that it is a non-object oriented, but no, reuse ALV. Reuse ALV grid display. This is just a proof why we need to learn object oriented. Even though you are working with non-object oriented, still here we can see everything object oriented. This is a function model code. Usually we don't get into the code and see what is there in that. Being a programmer, it is enough to know only how to call it. So, but still, for you to understand the real purpose of learning object oriented, why we have to have it. See this, the first statement itself is a class. After all this the commented lines, a class, a call method, and call method, etc., and again, etc., call method. So all call methods and create objects. So not only that, they're calling a screen, and this is internally they're calling object oriented above, object oriented ALV, in which we have to call the create objects here. See this, create object again, set handler, it's event handler for object oriented, again create object, object for the ALV, object for the ALV class, etc., again create object. Now tell me, this is what the impression we are getting now. Still we got an impression like we are working with the function module which is non-object oriented. No guys, it is internally object oriented. So when you try to debug it, it will take to classes, methods, etc., etc. So that is the reason, at least even though you are working with non-object oriented, still we are internally working with object oriented. So that is the first reason why we need to learn object oriented in detail. The second one is, nowadays everything is object oriented. If you observe the enhancement techniques, so earlier there was exits, now baddies. Of course, now enhancement spots are again carry forwarding the baddies. So what is baddie and what is exit? Exit is a non-object oriented approach, which is your function modules, whereas baddie is an object oriented approach. It's a method, empty method, what we called as interface method. So that and all the main difference. So now let us try to understand one of the object oriented capability called encapsulation. I repeat. So let us try to understand one of the object oriented capability called encapsulation. So in fact we are going to discuss only 2 points throughout object oriented. We are going to discuss only 2 points. So one is reusability, the other one is security. Reusability and security. So the first point is encapsulation, which talks about security of your data, because you put lot of effort to fill the data into your variables, etc., and if the variable is simply cleared by someone who is not authorized, that's what no security means. Now let us go with whether the security is there in the non-object oriented or not. Then we'll see how object oriented is going to provide the security. Yes, many people says, and the non-object oriented or the procedural ABAP has no security. Yes, there is a security even in the non-object oriented also. The reusability also there in the non-object oriented. Then what is the need of object oriented, guys? When the security can be provided, when the reusability can be provided, and when object oriented talks about only security and reusability, and what is the need of object oriented. Now we'll see with an example, how a security is going to be provided by even by the non-object oriented ABAP. Then still why we need to go for object oriented. So that's we need to understand. So I think let's show me one program, a simple program where I'm just selecting the data and displaying for a particular customer data. Yes, your yeah, this is a program where I'm just retrieving the data from a KNE1 table, which is very commonly used for customer data. Yes, ideally I should not go for select star just to save the time instead of saying begin of end of the same set of fields. So I select star into so and so and 10 rows as part of end of selection. As part of end of selection. So I'm just displaying the data. Now this is a program which deals with only one object called customer. They're all related to customer only, no? These are all related to customer. Now let's say in the same program, we have entire data also. In the same program, we have entire data also. Then, so let me just copy this. Then we can say we have two objects. We can say we have two objects. So let us change it. Then only we can think of security. When there are two objects which are not so relevant, I don't want the object one data to be accessed or damaged by the object two. This is what I say one customer, but not one customer, an object called customer. Object is an entity. I'm just going to copy it. Yes, replace KNE1 with LFA1. Replace KNE1 with LFA1, IT underscore yes, LFA1, type table of LFA1. Of course, from here I can say control F and search. That might be good from here, from this place. Control F, KNA1, replace with LFA1. And say better you replace one by one. Fine, next replace. Then replace. Fine, next. No, I don't want to replace that from here. No, it's taking that location, not sure why. Yeah, no problem. Let me manually repeat it. So this is LFA1 over this is KNA1 LFA1. Yes. Now there is a scope for two objects. When there's scope for two objects, then only we can think of your reusability, security, and all. When there is no scope, definitely we don't need to think of an alternative. Yes. So this is a customer data. This is a vendor data. I can very well write two start of selections. Both will be executed. I can very well write two end of selections. Both will be executed in the same order. Nothing wrong. Time being to make it clear. So just for an understanding, I'll display one underline. And yes, check it, activate it. Yeah, this one. Okay, here I copied it. This is Kunar Lefner, and this is a name one. This is name one, and this is some land one. Yeah, this is land one. So hope you are following, because since I guess you have this kind, at least this level of ABAP knowledge, where it's a matter of selecting the data and then displaying it. So activate it. Now this is nothing new in this program. So this is a very common way of writing your code. Yeah, these are all customers and underline, these are all vendors. So now encapsulation meaning of encapsulation means grouping the relevant things together, because there are two things here. Customer things need to be grouped, vendor things need to be grouped. So why it need to be grouped? Because when someone go through your program, they should understand what are all the things this program is doing. If this is grouped and this is grouped, so what happens by seeing this, I can understand, okay, this is for customer, this is vendor. And one more thing, security providing the security will be easier if all the relevant things are packed together, so that I can provide the security easily. Just like you wanted to provide the security for your family members. If there are 10 members, if 10 people are there in 10 different locations, providing the security is not so easier. If you can ask them to and come into a single place and stay in a single place, yes, it's a bit easier. We can think of providing the security. So that is the reason. That's what family means, a collection. So this is what one collection in fact, but they're not grouped. They're not grouped. And similarly, these are all one collection. They're not grouped. Just grouping the relevant thing. Encapsule. Capsule means packing. Packing all the relevant things of an object into a single unit. Into a single unit. If it is object oriented, we call it as a class. In the non-object oriented also, this can be packed. In the non-object oriented, this can be packed. Before thinking of packing, let us apply the modularization. Yes, I can very well pack these things. I can keep this into one include program. I can keep that into another include program. First include is customer object. Second include is vendor object. Who said there is no encapsulation in the object non-object oriented? Yes, we can encapsulate, but we'll think of security also one by one. Yes, and encapsulation is packing the relevant things of an entity into a single unit. I can very well pack them into a single unit called an include program. So nothing wrong in that. So now what I'll do to make it more clear, I just want to go with one subroutine here. Perform get customers. Perform get customers. Yes, copy this. Somehow my double click is taking more time, so I'll just manually write form get customers. Yes, and form from get customer select statement. Similarly, and perform. Well, let me remove. Okay, perform display customers, guys. Display customers. Display customers and pack it. Move it into one place. Call form display customers. Yes, nothing wrong. And form. Yes, save it. Over, save it. Is it? Similarly, these things. Yes, yeah, this is the perform. Get vendors. Perform get vendors. Definitely, if you write this way of programming, we don't need to really depend on the object oriented at some level, because most of this is what we actually called as encapsulation. And yes, your form get vendors and form, just paste it, save it, vendor data, and yes, here copy this, perform get vendors, and form get vendors, sorry, display vendors, right? Perform display vendors, here, form display vendors and form over, paste it. Yeah, so now save it, check it, activate it. Yeah, activate. So run it. Yeah, the customer data, maybe we can write a heading over this is vendor data. So now go back. Yeah, let me move the declarations, both the declarations, let it be, no problem. Yeah, now tell me, is this clear? This program, a program with customer data and two subroutines, get and display customers, again vendor data and get and display customers, and all the subroutines in the program. So is this program clear, please? Yes, everyone, is this program clear? Yeah, Avinash, fine. So now There is nothing new in this program. Now let us think of encapsulation. Encapsulation is packing the relevant things together. Yes, I can very well. Currently, it's not packed. What is wrong if you don't pack it? If you don't pack it, observe it. See, this is get vendors. In the get vendors, is related to vendor object. It's related to vendor object. I am supposed to access only the vendor data, but here, honestly, what I can do is I can say refresh IT underscore KNA1. Yes, I can simply say let me remove the two end of selection, two sort of selections. Yes, corner, this two end of selections not required. Get customers and get vendors. These two sort of selection to make it more and more clear. Yes, get customers and get vendors, and display customers and display vendors. That's all. Now this underline makes sense here. And declarations also at the beginning make sense. Yeah, that's all my program is. These are all definitions we don't need to understand. And yeah, let's have everything here. Let's say end of selection, good practice. That's all. These are all definitions of the code. Now this is our main program. Now what I'm saying, there is no security for your data in the non-object oriented as of now, because here I am getting the customers where my internal table is filled. In the get vendors, that means before you display the customers, when I can go to vendors, I can simply refresh the KNA1. So before we are trying to use the data, a function related to vendor is simply damaging my data, simply refreshing my data. So whatever that effort I did here, that effort is of no use. Now simply you get the data, someone in the program, what we call it as another object, is simply accessing it. Just because both are in the same program, doesn't mean that you can access my data, you can clear my data. Just because you people are staying in the same apartment doesn't mean that you can enter into my house and do whatever you want it. That's what it's just like the same place you people are staying. These are the two objects which are in the same place. Just because, they're in the same place, that too these variables, what we call as a global variables, which are declared. So definitely I can use it anywhere in the program. Now, we simply say that there is no data, there is no customer data. Let me just display customer. I think we have the data. I'll make it here. No customer data. Just activate it. But data is actually there. We saw that data. Now say direct processing. Just see this, no customer data. Do we really don't have the customer data? No, right? Customer data is there. But, and this is what I wanted to restrict. This is what I wanted to stop using. This is vendor data. So go back. This is what my aim is now. My aim is make sure that the customer data is not going to be accessed by the vendor functions. Similarly, the vendor data is not going to be accessed by the customer functions. So that's what my challenge now. You tell me what will be your approach without using object oriented. I want my customer variables to be accessed only by the customer functions, and vendor variables, that's what's the vendor data, to be accessed and used only by the vendor functions or subroutines. And it's a function, this is one function, not a function module, this is one function. Now tell me what will be your approach to make sure that customer data is not used by the vendor data is not used by the customer in the same program. Yes, guys, what will be your approach? Yes? Am I clear? Is my question clear? Yeah, what will be your approach? How you wanted to achieve this? Yes, I'm waiting for your answers. Hello?
Yeah, declare the IT underscore KNA1 in locally to the get customers only.
Very good. Now, yes, you're declaring that where the switch and all comes into, because switch and all inside the subroutines, I'm talking about the variables. So switch case, using switch case. So where can you use the switch case? So here, now, yeah, definitely you might think of very common solution is you might think of declaring these variables here in this get customer. Now where should I declare? In the get customers and the display customers. So because this is one thing, this is one thing. If you declare in this subroutine, only that subroutine can access it. If you declare here, only this subroutine can access it. If you declare here and there, then they become two different local copies. That means here, if you declare here, just only that subroutine can access it. Only that subroutine can access it. Now the other subroutine, display subroutine, cannot access it here. If you declare it here also, then that variable is different, again this variable is different, local variable. You kept the data into one local variable, you are looping the another local variable. This data won't be the same here. Now you tell me, still that is not solving your issue. Yes, declaring your variable locally makes sense, but only one subroutine can access that. Now my requirement is make sure that both the subroutines, only these two subroutines, can access my variable. So I want these variables to be declared and used only by these two subroutines, not by a single subroutine. Yes, good. Now tell me. You agreed, right? Local declaring the local variable is not a solution. Yeah. Now tell me what will be your approach. Yes, the circle itself is giving the solution, guys. Yes. Any idea? In the non-object oriented. Yeah. So no clue, is it? Okay. So now yes, I can make it as include program, guys. I can make it as include program. So declare these variables and outside this form and form, so that within that program I can access everything inside this. I can make this as an include program. That's what I said. The circle itself is giving the solution. You can move this into a separate include program, so that in that include these variables at the beginning, and this is the next one, this is the next one, and definitely these variables can be accessed by both. Can be accessed by the both only within that include program as of now. So yes, we can think of like instead of declaring it locally, my requirement is make sure that this variable are global only for these two subroutines. Global, but only for these two subroutines. So let us shift them into one include program. Does it make sense? Does it make sense to go for an include program? Yes. Now back. Yes, I can very well say include GADM underscore customers underscore also forms. GADM underscore customer underscore object otherwise. This is a customer object. Object doesn't mean that object oriented ABAP object, an entity or customer entity. I'll say to make it simple. Customer entity. That's all. Object or customer entity. So let me copy this one to notepad first. Yes, copy customer, this one, this one, this one, copying it and pasting and move this above. Yeah, definitely. Now that can be used by both the subroutines. Completed. Now copy this, guys. Copy this. Similarly, one more include here. So include programs also, I think you double click, it's taking more time. Let's try it. Include program does not exist, you want to create. The system has certain. Yeah, good. It's allowing include program. So yes, include it. Just save it. Just check it. Yeah, paste it and activate it here, or you can check it. It can be activated. If anything goes wrong, the main program will stop you. You need not to worry. Go back. Similarly, all the vendor data you can move into another include. Timing, I'll just remove it. Go back. Similarly, delete this. The vendor data are packed together. All the relevant things of an entity are packing together. We are packing them together. Yes. 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 Over. Now make them as part of an include program. Again include GADM vendor entity. Vendor entity. That's all. Double click on include. Say yes. Say yes. This program type is include. Say yes. Say yes. That's all. Now paste it. Activate it. Errors. Huh? Yeah, variable declaration is missed. I forgot to copy this at the beginning of the include. Yes, that's all. Check it, activate it. That's all. Now, yes, we have similar to in the object oriented, technically speaking, in the object oriented, we call this is one class. This is one class or object which is a collection of data, and the methods. In the object oriented, this is what I'm going to call it as a class, a collection of data and the methods. Now this is a collection of data and subroutines. Similarly, this is what one more class in the object oriented, again collection of data and methods. Now this is what my looking like one object. This is like a replacement for object. So now still, now this is what definitely encapsulation. You are encapsulating all the relevant data and methods into one place, and again all the relevant data and functions, subroutines or functions. Don't take the worldly meaning of function model, etc. Function means which does something, action. So the customer, similarly their actions into one place, vendor and their actions into one place. Now tell me, this is what I call it as packing the relevant things. This is nothing but one class. In the object oriented, we are going to do the same thing and packing them into one class. And this is what we are going to packing them into one class. But still tell me, can we avoid the vendor subroutine accessing the customer data? Now, even doing all these things, can we stop the vendor function, vendor subroutine, and accessing the customer data? Can we stop that now in this program? Is my question clear? Can we stop accessing the customer data by the vendor actions? Can we stop that? No. Why no? Avinash, why no? Because we are already these relevant things into one place, these relevant things in one place, no? So the answer is no. Yes, but how? Why it is no? Why not yes? Can't we stop accessing the customer data by the vendor function? To be honest, no. Yes, to be honest, no. It's not. I can call the form. Yeah, this is one include, right? This is one include at the beginning. This is the next include. Yes, guys, the second include can access everything from the first include. Yes, it is encapsulation packing, but still relevant things are grouped together. Yes, good, it's good, better. But that means you ask your family members to and come and join in a on one place. But still there is no scope for the security because the things here included can be accessed by the people next that is available. Blindly, this can be accessed by not only by the forms inside the include, even by everyone who is next to that. So here in this include, I can still say refresh. I can still say, yeah, I can still say refresh. I can still say refresh IT underscore KNA1. Yes, guys, syntactically correct. No syntax error. Activate it. Activate. Go back. Yeah, definitely. We'll say no customer data here when you execute it. Yeah, when you go to get vendors, see stop it here. Get vendors. Breakpoint. A question from why, because why refresh is used just to make sure that the customer data is going to be accessed by the vendor data. That internal table belongs to customer, but I am trying to access from the vendor function. The entire story is about that statement only because the entire discussion is about that statement, to be honest. Now here, that was accessing the customer data by the vendor function. Yes, let me place a breakpoint. It's an access. Yeah, it's a breakpoint here. So the customer data, so not this program, right? Yeah, not this program. Because I'm looking for the include programs program. Go back. How come? Yeah, this program I'm looking for. It's inactive. Activate it. That's what accessing means here. In the get vendors, I belong to the vendor data, but simply I'm damaging my customer data. Refreshing means what? Having nothing. So we did lot of effort. The customer object did lot of effort to get the data, to fill the data, but the simply vendor object is refreshing that. You put lot of effort to cook your food, simply your neighbor spoiled it. That's what unauthorized access means. So you cook the food here, you cook the customers, you prepare the customers, but someone called vendor is simply and making it nothing. So that's what I wanted to show you. Now activate it. Place the breakpoint here and says session breakpoint. Yeah, just to show you that data is there, but still because it's refreshing, it's not getting. Now execute it. Yes, run it. Execute the program. Yeah, data is, see this ITKNA1. ITKNA1 data is there here. There are 20 records. Now I'm into vendor function, but simply I'm clearing it here, guys. I'm refreshing it. Yeah, that became 0 here. See this in the debugging. It became 0. That why my intention is data is there, but still someone else in the same program is simply refreshing it. Refreshing means what? Accessing it, damaging it, and your effort become nothing. F8, let me press F8. That's all. Now this is still not solved. What is still not solved? Security for the data. Even though we have the capability of packing the relevant things, we have the capability of packing the relevant things, still it is incomplete, because in the object oriented there is a way to provide the security. Yes, definitely you can compare. This is like a class is data and methods. Here data and actions, subroutines. This is another class, but still I'm able to access everything from this class into this class. In object oriented there is a way. Before we go to the object oriented, in the non-object oriented also there is a way, guys. In the non-object oriented also there is a way. Yes, now tell me, in the non-object oriented also there is a way where you can group the customer things into one place, vendor things into one place. Still I can make sure that vendor functions cannot access customer, customer functions cannot access vendor. Yes, still there is a way in the non-object oriented. Tell me what it is. Yes, any idea? Yeah. So just any clue? Yeah. So now I can make them as function group and function model, guys. One function group, global data in the function group, function model 1, function model 2, one more function group, one more function group. For this is G customers is my function group, G vendors is my function group, vendor data and vendor functions. So definitely this data can be accessed only by these function models of the same group, and this data can be accessed only by the function models of the same group. This data cannot be accessed by these functions, and this data cannot be accessed by these functions. Yes. Now again the same comparison. A class, a class and a function group, and class is collection of data and methods, and function group is also data globally and function modules, function model 1, function model 2. This data, if it is private in the an object oriented, in fact we have to define it as a private, then only this data cannot be accessed outside. But function group level there is no concept like private, it's always private. This data, even it's more secured function group, that's what I'm saying here. You can, there is a possibility you can make them as public, private, etc. But here no, this is always private. So this data cannot be accessed by anyone outside the function module at any cost, any cost. So instead of creating two include programs, you create two function groups. This class is an object-oriented way to encapsulate and provide the security. This function group is a non-object-oriented way to provide the security and encapsulation. Yes, is that clear? We'll see that anyway quickly. Two function groups. Am I clear? An encapsulation, security in the non-object oriented, guys. Who said there is no security in the non-object? Because ABAP is designed such a way, even though it is non-object oriented, even though it's not using the non-object oriented terminology or non-object oriented syntaxes, but still they followed certain guidelines even in the non-object oriented, because it's mandatory for them and to take the help of object oriented concepts, but differently. Concept is that one, but they took it via function groups and all, because to develop such a complex solution it's not easier. It's not easier. That is the reason. Yes, it is. Now let me quickly create two function groups and shift the same thing into function modules. So here we all know how to create the function groups. SE37, go and create a group. Okay, SE37, go to, yes, go to function groups, create group. I'll say GADM customers. GADM customers, here customers. Here customer function simply. Yes, save it. I think we all know just how to create the group and use it for the function module, because when you are creating only one function module, you don't get an opportunity to use the global data section. Usually, when being in ABAP, we simply create one function module. For that function module, whatever input required, output required, we complete that. But we may not get an opportunity to use the global data of the function group. We simply create it and use it. This is the function group created. When you want to see the function group, yes, here, and go to, again go to function groups. I can say display or change group, either of it. Display or change the group. Display the group. Again, my group name is GMO customers. Yes, GADM customers. Say continue. Function group is a program internally, like an include program. Yes, it's inactive. Go with the master program. Function group is a master program, a main program. Yes, here, see that there are two includes waiting for us. One earlier, observe it, earlier we keep everything into one include. Now also it is include program, but this include program belong to one main program. Again, one more main program. Earlier we kept everything into one main program. Now we are making them into two programs, guys. Technically speaking, each function group is a program. Then there is nothing surprise. Earlier program, if I make it as two programs, program one for customers, program two for custom vendors, main program. In the main program, this is a main program. Definitely, the data from this main program cannot be accessed by this. The data from this main program cannot be accessed. Now that's what technically speaking, a function group is a program. Program of type function pool, like module pool. This is a program of type function pool. Yes, here in the top, this is for global declarations. Double click on it. Yes, here change mode. Change mode. Yes. Now you copy the declarations. So is my program ready? Yeah. You copy these declarations. Double click on it. These declarations. Leave that program as it is. Yeah. Paste it. Activate it. My global data section is yeah, definitely that's what I'm saying. Being an ABAPer, very commonly a report statement is missing, no problem, because include programs directly we can go with activation. Activate anyway. There's no activate anyway. Activate it. We should get an activate anyway. Then go with, otherwise no problem. Yes, activate it. Or even it is not activated, no problem. Go back. We can activate everything once, because include program cannot be checked for syntax error. It's anyway part of main program. I'll come back. That's all. My include is ready. It's activated anyway. Go back. Include is ready. Now when you want to use the function group, it must be activated. Group must be activated explicitly. That is a common rule. Again, how to activate the group? There are many ways. From here also I can say environment, inactive objects, because a function group, an inactive function group cannot be used. I activated only the global data, guys, not the whole function group. Now inactive group, here I can say mine is saved as a transportable object. Yes, function group. There are many inactive function groups here. There is only one. Right click, activate. My function group is ready, so that I can use it. In the function group, I declare my global data. Yes, everyone in that group can access that. There is nothing surprise, guys, because function group means again two includes. First include is declarations. Second include is function modules. Internally, your function module code is stored into the function second include. So definitely this include can access this one. Only thing is this is one separate program. Another function group is a separate program. So that's what the real secret. Now come back. My group is ready. Now let me create a function module. Yes, please. Is this clear what I did in the group? I just created the group and activated. I went to the global data, declared the variable. Am I clear? Yes, please, others. Because and all. Is the function group clear? Yes. Now, good. Now let me create a function module. Two function modules, guys. One for get customer, one for display customer. There it is a subroutine. Here is a function module in the object-oriented method. Subroutine, function module, and a method. So G get, because I'll begin with ADM so that later for tracking purpose easier for me. G ADM get customers. Copy that code that is written in this function module, subroutine. Create. Function group is G ADM underscore customers. Yes. Description get customers. Description get customers. Save it. Just continue. Yes. Okay. Source code. Copy and paste that from the previous program. Yes. Copy this select statement. Now the earlier is get customer. Now also get customer as a function module. Get customer as a function module. Say activate it. Yes. Go back. One function module is ready, guys. And one more thing. Yeah, interesting fact. That's I missed it. See, it is activated. No error is coming saying that this is unknown. It's neither declared inside the function and function, nor available as part of importing and exporting. It's neither declared here, nor declared anywhere in the function module. But still, it is entirely correct. How it is? How it is possible without declaring anywhere in the function module? How come it is saying that there is no error in the IT underscore KNE1? IT underscore KNE1 is not part of this function module, guys. But still, it is declared in the global section of the function group. Yes, global data. That's what. Go back. Go back. One more function module. Display customers. Display customers. Download customers. Display customers like that. Again. Create. Function group. GADM underscore. Customers. Yes. Here it is. Display customers. Continue. Yes. That's all code. Okay. Yes, here. This include loop and end loop. This function module. Yes, I have not declared work area anywhere in this function module, internal tab anywhere in the function module, but surprisingly when I check it, no errors found. Activate it. Activate it. That's all. Go back. Now internally what happens when you go to the function group, go to function group here, display the group. The second include here master program. The first include we have declarations. The second include is for function models. Inside that one include program is generated for each function model again. Double click UXX. XX means 01, 02, 03, 04. Double click on it. Yes, 01 for first function model. 02 for second function model. If you want to double click here, there we can see the function model code. So what I'm trying to say, there is nothing to surprise actually, because it's a one program. In this program, in the first include you are declaring the variables, in the second include you are declaring the definitions. But the difference between earlier program and this program, earlier we combine this into one include and the vendor things into one include. This you are including in one program, this also you are including one more program. But now, since it is outside your program, it's not function model is specific to not specific to any program, so that from your program you cannot access this thing. This data can be accessed only by these function modules, not by another group, even not by another program. Even a program also cannot use this, touch this data. Maybe if the function model export it, the program can import it. The function model export it, program can import it. So here, when you go to your program, now this is for one function group, try the same thing with vendor function group. And vendor data, function want to get vendor, function want to display vendor. Definitely, this data you cannot use it in this function model. This customer data cannot be used inside this vendor function. Not only vendor function, that means this is one object, this is one object. Not only that, even the main program also. Let me do that also quickly. Very quickly, let me do that. Again, create one more group, guys. Go to function group, create, and GADM underscore vendors, and this is for all vendor functions. For all vendor functions. Say save it. Say save. Say continue. A group is ready. We have to activate the group, guys. Here, environment, inactive objects, your transportable group here. I think you're all familiar, so that I'm going a bit faster. This is a group which is inactive. Go to the master program. I can directly say activate. Right click here, activate, of course. I want to declare the global data also first. Double click on it. Just change mode. Change mode. And let me copy this vendor declarations here from the other include. Simply I replace one include with one function group. Yes, your vendor declarations. Yes, now activate it. Come back. We can activate everything in a single shot. Right click on the function group. Right click on the function group. Activate it. Yeah, both the top include and that also selected by default. That's all. Now back function module. Function module, guys. Go back. Yes, the get vendors. The get vendors. Create it. Function group. GADM underscore vendors. Description for all vendor functions. So within the program level, we don't have the solution. Locally, we don't have a solution in non-object oriented. Globally, we have this solution. But there is one more limitation. I'll come back. Source code. Security wise, you can provide it. Yes, your from this get vendors, select the vendor data. Select the vendor data. Now, this is vendor. I cannot say here, that's what I'm saying. I cannot say refresh IT underscore K in A1 because altogether this is a different function model. This is a different program. Check it here. This is unknown. That's what security. The data, it is there in another function group, but only those function can access that. In fact, there is nothing to surprise because that is one program. This is another program. If you understand that that is a separate program, this is a separate program. So, but I can access the IT LFA1, which is declared at this group level. At this group level, go back. One more function is ready. That means a display vendors. Display vendor, guys. Display vendors. Display vendors. No. So now we get it's a function group is nothing but similar to one class or object where we can provide even the security also. Outcome. Yes, here. The ADM display vendors. Yeah, seems a bit slow. Create. Yeah, create, close it, not display T, display, create, yes, GADM underscore vendors, this here, for all vendor functions, save it, continue, yeah, code, vendor functions, yes, here, copy this. I just replacing the forms inside, over, complete it. Now save it, activate it, yeah, now come back. That's all, everything is ready. Now go to your main program, go to this main program, go back, this is the main program. Let me copy this program, copy, yes, here, the ADM encapsulation non-object oriented, encapsulation in the non-object oriented, yes, or via function groups. It's already done, actually it's done already in the program, just nothing to do. So copy, now here, let me, this is now one, then one function group, this is one function group, guys, with the collection of functions. This is one function group. Now these are all your call functions. Now so when you say function model call, definitely one function there itself already proved one function model cannot access the data from another function group. Even one more thing, even this data, my program also, this is my program. See here, call one function module, pattern, call function module, where is this pattern, call function module, GADM underscore get customers. Now this function model is filling that internal table, but surprisingly, even my program, even though I'm calling that, I cannot say loop at internal table. I cannot access that internal table, guys, into work area KN1. Yes, here, that's what, outside that function group, no one else can access it. Outside the function group, no one else can access it. Now earlier, just by having to include programs here, everyone can access here. Now save it, check it. Now we get an error saying that this is unknown. It is unknown. It is unknown. Who knows it? This function model knows it. If the function model gives it for us, if the function model export it, you can import it. That's all. That too, you cannot change that again. If the function model export A, that A you can collect into B, B value only you can use it, but still A value you cannot change it. Maybe you can use a copy of it. That too, if the function model is ready to give it. But now function group level, there is a data. Here function group level, there is a data ITKNA1. Who is using that? The functions of that group only. This is one function, display is one function. But even though I am calling a function in my program cannot use the global variables of that one. But earlier, just by including you can access everything. Simply we made them as two different programs here. Similarly here, since the function group is ready to offer, this is what we cannot access. A global data cannot be accessed by the function module. Even function group data cannot be accessed by your program. No one data can be accessed by no one. Only thing is the data within the group can be accessed only by the members of the group. The members of the group means the functions of the group. The functions of the group. Anyone outside the function group cannot access it. But if the function group is willing to give it, that means if they export it, you can import it. That too, if they export X, you can collect into Y. X value you can use it into, you can collect into Y. Y can be used, still X value cannot be changed. That's what access means. Anything can be done. Earlier, I simply refresh my internal table. That's what a change. As long as you are using it's a bit okay, but when you're changing, so that's what the real damage. Now this is what, guys, I can say call. So the solution is there in the object-oriented, non-object-oriented also for your encapsulation, for your security. Yes, my customer data is secured, my vendor data is secured. Instead of calling classes, I am calling as function groups. I am calling as methods. But still, why to go for classes and methods? Yes, I'll come to that. Yes, this is my customer data. I can very well call my vendor. I can call my vendor things here. Uline. I can call my vendor data. Is it clear? Now here, I can go to this function module, guys. I can go to this function module. Let me add some importing parameter. Importing. Change. Country key is my importing parameter. Country underscore key. Type land1 GP. Yes. Go to the source code. Add the where condition. Add the where clause. Your where land1 database field equals the input field. Country underscore key. Nothing wrong. Now activate it. Yes. Go back. Go back. Yes. Since I know that it has an exporting, now it throws an error because by default importing parameters are mandatory. It throws an error. A country key is missed like that. You have to check for syntax. Syntactically correct. Runtime. Since I know that, better not to get into runtime error. But if you want to see that, yes, yeah. Missing parameter. What is that missing? Country key. Somewhere we can see here country key. Yes, it's a known error. It's a known error, guys. SC38. Change. Yes. Now let me call it again. Let me call it again pattern. GADM underscore get customers. Yes. Continue. Country key. Let's IN. Over. And here Indian customers. Is it clear? Now check it. Activate it. Yes. Now get ready. So till now, yes, it is the same what we can do in the object oriented. Yes, this is my function group. This is my class. Class, even though you are not sure much about a class, it's technically speaking, class is a collection of variables and methods. Methods here, variables and methods. If these variables are declared as assume they're private. So this data can be accessed only by these methods. In a function group, a global data, even no need to say private, it's always private. Global data and function modules. Is it clear? Now this data can be accessed only by these function modules. This data can be accessed only by the methods. So except the name, guys, except the name, rest are all same. Is this point clear till now? Now I'll come to the real difference between a function group and a class. Why we still need to go for classes and object oriented when the security reusable, the function model can be used anywhere, and the data in the group can be accessed only by the group, same as your classes and methods. Object, we call it as object, here is function group. We call them as a method, here function models. In fact, there we have to define it as private. Here, even without saying private, it is still secure, guys. So is this point clear? Yes, am I clear? So security. Now the real improvement, why we have to go for classes. Why we have to go for classes? Yes, yeah. Let me call this function again. For DE, I can call display 2 times. Call that method 2 times, yes. Now tell me, take your time. Now tell me what this display displays, what this display displays. Don't give the wrong answer, guys. At least this one, because this is not object oriented. This is what I'm expecting from you. Okay, give me the wrong answer also instead of giving no answer. I'm okay with wrong answer instead of no answer. Yeah, tell me what this display displays and what this display displays. Yes, I'm still waiting. Yeah, what the first display displays and second display displays. Yes, Avinash, DE customer data, German customer data. In both the cases, German customer data. That's what you mean?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, because yeah. Yeah, Avinash, what do you mean? In both the cases, DE customer, is it? And the first case in this IN and second case DE.
Both DE.
Both DE. Okay. So both DE. Yes. Both DE, guys. Both DE. This is DE because this is DE. Why this is DE, this is DE, and this is calling from a function group. This result is yes, definitely into ITKNA1, ITKNA1. Then this also acts as the same ITKNA1. Since it is into table, internal table, it will overwrite. It will overwrite. That means every time when you call a function module, we cannot have a copy of that. That means once you call a function module from one function group can have only one copy of the data. One function group can have only one copy. My requirement is this data I want to store into one ITKNA1. This data I want to store into another ITKNA1. I want to have two copies of ITKNA1. This data into one ITKNA1, this data into another ITKNA1. In the function group, it is not possible. In the object oriented, for this class here, this is my function group. This is a function group. In globally, I declare ITKNA1 and my function module 1 and function module 2. And whereas a class, it is also ITKNA1 and methods. Method 1, method 2. Now when you call this method, it is filling this internal table first time. Second time when you call the same method, you want one more ITKNA1. Third time when you call it, you want one more ITKNA1. It is possible in the object oriented because for the same class I can have multiple instances. I can have multiple instances, multiple objects because it is object oriented. Since it is not object oriented, we cannot have multiple instance. We can have only one instance, guys. Only one instance, only one copy. If you want another internal table, maybe you need to go for another function group or another function module, or you have to manually declare it. But here you declare the class once, create object 1, object 2, object 3. I get 3 ITKNA1s declared. 3 ITKNA1s. If I call this M1 from this object 1, object 1's internal table is filled. If you call it from object 2, object 2 internal table is filled. Object 3, object 3 internal table is filled. But here we have only one copy. Yes, This is the major limitation with the non-object oriented. That means you can define a blueprint. From the blueprint, we can have only one object, guys. We cannot have multiple copies. That means you spend your time to design a car. You spend to design a car, but if you can have only one car from this, if you can have only one car from this, then definitely, as long as you are working with only one car, nothing wrong. But when you are looking for multiple cars of the same type, which is not possible in the function group, whereas in the object oriented, yes, you can define this variable as by default they are instance specific. I can create instance 1, instance 2, instance 3, instance 4. When you create 4 instances, I can see 4 copies of this data. Again, when you call the method 1 from object 2, if the method 1 is filling this internal table, method 2's internal table is filled. Method 3's internal table, when that is called, method 3's internal table. But whereas in the non-object oriented, only one copy of the internal table. This is the best example. You are spending your time to design the blueprint for one car, you can have only one copy of the car, and here you can have any number of copies. That means if you are increasing the speed of the car 2 times, you are increasing the speed of car, first time 10, next time with 30. Now here in both the cases same speed will be increased. Initially 0, 0 plus 10, that plus 30. Then we can have only one speed in the function groups concept. In object oriented, if object 1, now speed is a variable at the object level, now I have 2 cars. If I increase the speed of object 1, object 1 speed becomes 10. If you increase the speed this one by 30, only object speed 30. Maybe you can ask, what if in both the times I want to increase the same speed? In the object oriented also, there is a concept called static variable. Instance variable, static variable. If you declare them as static, it works like a function group. So the function group functionality you can achieve in the object oriented. The object oriented functionality you cannot achieve in the function group. If you want to treat the class as one single instance, I can declare the variables as static variable. Static means only one copy. If you declare them instance variable, by default if you set data, it is instance variable, we can have one copy for each instance. So this is the real reason why we have to go for classes and methods. See this, guys, the same thing in the programmatic way, your diagrammatic way, in the procedural. Quickly in the procedural you declare the variables, etc, etc. Yes, we are calling the subroutines, but this global data can be accessed by every subroutine of it. Global data can be accessed by every subroutine of it. So for that, solution is function module, function group. This is one group, you global data declared it, only this function modules can access it. Even this function group, and this is the main program. This data cannot be accessed by this group, this data cannot be accessed by this group. Similarly, another function group, it has its own global data, only these functions can access it. Now this global data and function module provided, if the function module export, the function module export, this can be imported into these variables. If the function module import, and then you can export it. But when the function module is not willing to give the data, that data cannot be used by the program. They cannot change it anyway. They cannot use it. So this is what function groups. Then the limitation with the function groups, yes, here. Now we created one vehicle, speed of the car, this is speed, increase speed, decrease speed, get speed, stop, etc. So here this is the function module written, add speed, subtract speed, etc. This is the function group, and for a car to manipulate the speed of the vehicle, function module 1 to increase speed, function module 2 decrease speed, and so and so. Now I think this is clear. I called it as customer, here we are calling it as a vehicle. Vehicle and speed, these are all things. Now, yes, now when I call this function model here, now this speed you cannot directly access in the program. The program cannot directly access the speed. Who can access speed? Only these function modules can access the speed. This is the first point, is regarding security. Program has no direct access to this variable. Yeah, while calling. This is the first point regarding security. So the main program even cannot access the data, speed, from the group directly, it cannot. Indirectly, if the function export, the program can import it. Next one. Up to this, it is same as a class. Security is provided. Up to this, nothing wrong, perfect. Function group, variables, functions, even this data by the functions only, not by outside the function. Outside the function, this data cannot be accessed. Now the change, now the challenge is this one. The challenge is this one. If you wanted to have many vehicles from the same vehicle of the same type, it's not possible, because just by calling, and I cannot create an instance for the function group, guys. That's all. For a function group, I cannot create an object. I cannot create an instance. It is only one copy. It's only one copy. You cannot have multiple things. If you really want this many things, a lot of programming effort is required. Maybe going for different function groups, or declaring IT1 KNA1, IT2 KNA2, like that, declaring that many variables. Again, one function module to manipulate IT1, one more function module to manipulate IT2, like that. But if you want IT1 and this one, IT2 and this one, two copies, in the object-oriented, it is just quite simple. Now here, multiple instances is not possible in the function group, guys. Only one instance. A function group can refer for only one vehicle at a time, only the same vehicle, that too. So when you call the increase speed 2 times, the same speed will be increased 2 times. Initially 0, first time an increase by 10, next time an increase by 40, it becomes 50. But I want this one as speed of car 1, this is speed of car 2. I don't want to write two functions separately, both are cars, that too of the same type of cars. So this is that's what happens in the real world. No, in the real world, you spend your time to design one nano car. We can have any number of nano cars. To design the first nano car only, maybe you need to take 3 to 5 years, but not for every car of the same type. If you are taking the same time for every car of the same type, there's no point. You spend your time to design only the blueprint of the car. You can have any number of copies of the car. That's what the strength of object oriented. When you are going to work with multiple instances only, the real challenge. It's not possible directly in the function group. Whereas in the object, I can simply create 10 objects here. See this here? This is a multiple instances in the object oriented. Object 1, object 2, object 3, object 4. Each object has its own speed. If you call increase speed question mark, increase in the object oriented, when you call increase speed question mark, on which object? Since it is object oriented, we have to tell from which object. If you say this object, this speed will be manipulated. This object, this speed will be manipulated. So this is why we need to go for classes, even though, and function groups can provide the security. Security wise, definitely there is no second thought, even through function groups. But the thing is, you're spending a lot of time to design the blueprint, but you cannot have multiple copies of the blueprint. You cannot have multiple cars, guys. You are just designing an application solution for one car. When I cannot have multiple objects of it, then definitely there is no point. So as long as you are not looking for multiple objects, maybe you can manage with your function groups. But in a requirement is to work with multiple objects of the same type, there is no way we have to go for your object oriented. So this is why we have to go for classes, guys. Is this clear? So am I clear? Yeah. So that's all for today. Maybe the next weekend we'll meet it for our practical examples programming, where we get directly into object oriented. We discussed what is the real need of object oriented, even in ABAP, even though 90% of the things are supported in the non-object oriented ABAP also. Why we still need to go for that? This is the reason. Yes, guys, if you have no questions, thank you.